Dark web can be considered dark for a variety of reasons. It's dark in the sense that it's largely hidden from the public view. It's made up of encrypted networks that can only be accessed with special browsers such as Tor. This encryption allows users to have an anonymity that keeps their identities mostly but not completely in the dark. And then there's its dark content. While the dark web contains harmless and other helpful websites, it's best known as a black market for illegal items and a breeding ground for other criminal and inhumane activities. We'll present 5 strange stories from this part of the internet in today's episode of the Infographics Show. Most bizarre dark web stories. 5. Red Rooms. The existence of red rooms is the most popular myth about the dark web. According to journalist Eileen Ormsby, a red room is a website that offers pay-per-view live streaming of someone being tortured and/or killed. Red rooms can be interactive too. Paying viewers have the opportunity to type in torture commands in a chat box. Red rooms are generally thought to be an urban legend due to a lack of solid evidence that they exist. According to a Washington Post article, there's not much more proof of their existence other than people on Reddit, 4chan, in the hidden wiki, trading second and third and fourth hands accounts of red rooms open and closed. In addition, the article points out that red rooms and such operations have never been busted by the FBI's increasingly frequent dark web raids. What also makes people doubt the existence of red rooms are the fake ones that have popped up over the years, such as one that created a stir amongst 4chan and Reddit users in 2015. According to a Motherboard article, the site's owner humorously promised there would be bacon, but the live torture turned out to be nothing more than footage of a man being forced to eat bacon. 4. The Human Experiment. A bizarre dark web website that seems like an urban legend is called The Human Experiment. The website presents the chilling story of what these experiments involve. Test subjects, who are usually homeless people that are unregistered citizens, are taken to one of 4 warehouses where doctors and medical students perform brutal and unethical experiments, such as vivisection, sterilization, and drug trials. There are even tests for neonate and infant tolerances to X-rays, heat, and pressure. The test subjects usually don't live very long, and the website goes into gruesome detail about what happens to them after they die from the experiments. The bodies of the dead are dissected and then disposed of in dumpsters and meat shops, where their bodies will not be found. The Thought Catalog cautions that we may never know whether the human experiment is real or just an elaborate hoax. 3. Cannibal Victim Ad. In 2018, a 21-year-old Texas man named Alexander Nathan Barter went on the dark web on a horrifying mission. His plan was to find a young girl he could rape, kill, and eat. According to a Daily Mail article, he allegedly wrote a dark web posting for anyone willing to let him eat a young girl and then have sex with the corpse. Instead of finding a victim, however, he caught the attention of an undercover agent. The agent pretended to be a parent, willing to offer up his daughter to him. Barter and the agent set up a meeting via email. Authorities were able to trace the dark web posting to Barter by subpoenaing subscriber information and IP logs, so they were able to arrest him outside of his home on the day of the meeting. He was found with a plastic trash bag and a knife. Barter was jailed and charged with several felonies, including criminal solicitation, attempted capital murder, conspiracy to commit capital murder, and attempted sexual performance of a child. 2. Churchman hires hitman on dark web. A 44-year-old Minnesota man named Stephen Alwine wanted his wife Amy dead. In February 2016, he attempted to hire someone to kill her on the dark web, choosing Bessa Mafia for the job. Months passed and Amy was still alive. According to Fox 9, the FBI eventually informed Stephen and Amy Alwine that agents had shut down a phony murder-for-hire operation on the so-called darknet called Bessa Mafia. They also learned that someone with the name Dog Day God had transferred $12,000 in untraceable Bitcoin in an attempt to hire a hitman to kill Amy, although some sources say the amount was $6,000. Despite this setback, Alwine would not give up. He came up with another plan to kill her. This time he would do it himself. A Washington Post article reports that he got a permit for a 9mm Springfield XCS handgun in August 2016. This didn't raise any suspicion because local law enforcement suggested they get increased security. It would be the same gun found near Amy's body on November 13, 2016. She died in her bedroom with a single gunshot wound to her head in what initially appeared to be a suicide. However, a growing body of evidence pointed to Stephen Alwine as her murderer. According to the Washington Post, there was physical evidence. For instance, there was no gunpowder and blood found on Amy's hands, but gunshot residue was found on Stephen's right hand. Another important piece of evidence from Amy Alwine's autopsy controversy was the discovery of a large amount of scopolamine, a nausea treatment that can incapacitate someone who takes high doses. She had no prescription for the drug. Digital evidence linking Allwine to his wife's murder also emerged. Fox 9 reported that the computer forensic expert Mark Lanterman discovered a 34-digit Bitcoin address on Allwine's computer. Lanterman found it matched the same address obtained when FBI agents shut down Bessa Mafia, and apparently Allwine was dumb enough to purchase scopolamine under the same alias he used to hire the hit on his wife. A detective discovered Dog Day God also attempted to buy the anti-nausea drug scopolamine on a darknet site called Dream Market. In February 2018, Allwine was found guilty of his wife's murder and sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of parole for his crime. Some of the circumstances leading Allwine to kill his wife are just as bizarre as the killing itself. Before the murder, Allwine was a church elder at the United Church of God in Cottage Grove, Minnesota. One of its church duties included acting as a marriage counselor to troubled couples in his congregation. After learning about the infamous adultery website Ashley Madison from his marriage counseling sessions, he ironically began using the service himself. According to the Washington Post, he allegedly had affairs with at least 2 women he met on the site. He wanted to end his marriage, but he had a high position in a conservative church that looked down upon divorce. In his twisted mind, killing Amy seemed to be the best solution to his problem. 1. Sad Satan. Sad Satan is a video game that was supposedly discovered on the dark web in 2015. One horror news website called The 13th Floor describes it as a weird, semi-abstract horror game made up of black and white visuals, obscure ghost children, and a soundtrack of famous serial killers like John Wayne Gacy and Charles Manson. It also features disturbing images such as satanic and Nazi imagery and creepy backwards speech and music. Oddly enough, there seems to be a message about child abuse in the game. The children are the one who abuse the player in Sad Satan. According to TV Tropes, they eventually follow him and harm the player in some versions of the game, leading to the player's demise. Sad Satan may seem like an aimless and badly made walkthrough game, but it's far from harmless. The game was featured on a YouTube channel called Obscure Horror Corner, or OHC. The owner of OHC told gaming website Kotaku that he downloaded it from an Onion site on the recommendation of a subscriber, but OHC's owner eventually had to delete the game because it came with a file that freaked him out. According to TV Tropes, OHC's owner also eventually admitted that he posted the wrong link to the game on his YouTube channel after he discovered the game contained illegal images of minors and actual snuff that he did not want to spread on the internet. Different versions of the game have been made over the years. There are some clean clones, but others are not. Besides graphic and horrific content, TV Trope states that some versions of the game are downright dangerous to play because they mangle your computer. There's been a lot of speculation about why the game was made. The 13th Floor states that some people believe it's a sting from police or a recruiting tool for cults. One news website presents the possibility that the game might have been the starting point for an alternate reality game or part of some narrative project or viral marketing scheme. According to TV Tropes, another theory is that the game was part of a publicity stunt to popularize OHC. We may never know if this theory is accurate. While the game has remained in the spotlight, OHC's owner has disappeared along with the original version of the game. The dark web can be home to some pretty bizarre stuff, but did you know that